Hey everyone, this is Pete, and welcome back to Atari ST A to Z, a series of short playthroughs of Atari ST games, some which I grew up with and some which are new to me. Today is one of the latter. Today we are looking at QBall, which was a 1987 release developed by Billyard and published by English Software. Now, Billyard was a developer who was fascinated with developing high-performance 3D graphics with 80s home computers, and he's probably best well known for his game Electroglide on the Atari 8-bit systems that we've previously seen on the Atari A to Z series. Billyard would actually go on to become one of the key creative minds behind the Renderware engine, which went on to power an awful lot of 3D console and PC games from about the PS2 era onwards. So he's sort of always been involved in this side of things, but he got his start back in the 1980s. QBall is sort of pure Billyard at heart. It showcases some impressive 3D graphics and special effects. It's a very creative twist on an established formula as well. It's basically a 3D anti-gravity twist on snooker, pool, billiards, that sort of thing. So what you have is, instead of unfolding on a flat plane, you have a cube in which all the balls are suspended, and you have to pop them into pockets that are in the corners of the cube. It's a bit of a mind bender when you first give it a go, but quite addictive when you do get the hang of it. So yeah, let's go play QBall.
Okay, here we are with QBall by Billyard. I'm flying mostly blind with this one because I had real trouble tracking down the instructions for this. But I think I've figured some of it out, at least, based on stuff I've read in magazines and that kind of thing. Yeah, so this is basically 3D pool billiards, whatever you want to call it. One player. Thank you. Right, so your job in this is to try and pot as many balls as you can. So you use this black cue ball that you've got here. You can rotate this cube by using the cursor keys. You move the cue ball around using the numeric keypad, and then tapping enter on the keyboard, on the keypad rather, allows you to switch between all these different settings. And then you tap the asterisk key to take your shot. And your aim is to try and get a red ball, then the yellow ball, then the red ball, then the yellow ball, and so on, into those black pockets at the corner of the screen. So, hold on. There we go. Yeah, so this very much operates in 3 dimensions, which is why it uses sort of the additional directional options that the numeric keypad provides. So you can choose if you're aiming sort of near or far, that sort of thing. What we're doing here is we're positioning the cue ball so that we can hit things in a particular direction and hopefully pocket them, which we haven't yet managed because it's very difficult. Yeah, so the options you have available to you, you have the aiming of the cue ball. So the cue ball is going to go where that flashing version of itself is, if you can see that on the video capture, which hopefully you should be able to. And you can bring that nearer or further away from you with the 1 and 9 keys. So at the minute that's going to sort of hit the ball so that it strikes that red ball over there, and then we can apply some spin onto that ball if we want to. You choose how much power you're going to apply to it, and you can also choose how much friction there is inside the cube as well. So if there's no friction, they'll keep rolling for ages, like this. Oh, we got the yellow in. We also potted the cue ball. Yeah, so you can see the difference that friction makes on that one. If there's no friction, they just keep going and going and going and going and going for ages. Which can be desirable, but which can also leave you in an awkward position as well. So you can rotate the cube by using the cursor keys left and right, and then you can rotate it through 90 degrees by pressing the up and down arrow keys as well. And that allows you to see things from different angles and potentially line up a suitable shot. Right, so for example, if I line up that top one carefully, I might actually be able to get one into a pocket for once. Although, having a lot of difficulty actually just putting this cue ball where I want it to go. Okay, so it seems to move around relative to... Oh, we're running out of time. I'm gonna have to shoot. Just shoot. A little bit less friction. Fire! That didn't work, did it? Poor. Very poor indeed. Although it's not positioned it too badly for that one. So you lose points if you don't make a good shot. Like if you don't hit anything, or if anything that would cause a penalty in snooker or pool, basically. But you keep playing until either you've potted everything and then you get your final score, or until you've let the timer run down 3 times. So if the timer runs out, normally you will you'll just take your shot automatically at that point. I got one in! Amazing! I got 2 in. Fantastic. Wow, might actually get some points for once. Yeah, so you keep playing until you've either potted everything, or you let the timer run down. So when the timer runs out, you take your shot automatically, and you can only do that 3 times before the game ends. Oh, excuse me. Still suffering a bit of a cough. If you've watched any of my recent videos, I must apologise for that. Oh dear. There goes 500 points. And there they go. Right. What shall we try for this time? Might be able to knock that red in the distance, possibly, maybe. I don't know. Let's try it. Wallop. Oh, got it. Nice. Getting the hang of this now. Yeah, I'd not played this before. I was vaguely familiar with it, so I remember seeing adverts for it in magazines and stuff. But I've not actually played it before, so it's quite interesting to finally be able to give this a go. Oh, another 500 points down the can. It's interesting to me because English software was such a huge part of the Atari 8-bit scene, but I don't associate them with the Atari ST that much. But yeah, this is a rare example of them putting something out for Atari ST. Did that go in? I get any points for that? No. Apparently I should have hit a red ball in. Okay. So pocketing the yellow ball is something you can only do immediately after you've hit a red ball in, I guess. Alright, let's see if we can get this red one in the pocket. Ooh. Very sensitive controls. In it goes, lovely. Oh, not a bad position to tonk that yellow ball in, actually. Well, let's give it a go. Can't hurt to try. Nope. I think I was misreading the perspective there. Oh well, wasn't disastrous. Could have been much worse. Yeah, the main thing to kind of get accustomed to in this one is the controls, I think. Because the sort of manipulating stuff in 3D space is a little bit fiddly. Because not only are you... Oh, damn it. Not only are you moving left, right, up and down, you're also moving in and out of the screen as well. After a while, it does sort of become vaguely intuitive. But it does take a bit of getting used to. See, like here, positioning the aim point so that it's actually where you want it to be is the tricky bit. That was incorrect. Although that said, choosing your impact point on the ball that you're hoping to hit is actually much easier and more intuitive to me than some other pool games I've played, where you have to sort of line up the shots in a much more a kind of realistic way. So like if you only have a fairly rudimentary understanding of physics, this is actually surprisingly easy to understand. Alright, this isn't going to work, but let's give it a go regardless. Oh no! I really suck at this game, don't I? Never mind. It's all a bit of fun, as they say. Right, let's see if we can get that last red in there. We want to try and kind of hit that from underneath if we can. That's not going to do it, but oh, it might. It did. Amazing. Not what I expected to happen there. And that leaves the yellow not ideally lined up, but it could be worse. It could be much worse. Let's see. No. Oh! I did it! My God, I actually did it. How about that? Well, a fairly pathetic score in the grand scheme of things there, but that is how QBall by Adam Billyard works. That's a neat little game, that, actually. I really like that. Once you get your head around the control scheme, which is a little bit fiddly to understand, and it doesn't really give you any help during the game itself. And like I say, it's surprisingly difficult to track down a manual online for this. So you'll have to experiment a bit. But basically, it's the number pad. So you use the cardinal directions on the number pad to move up, right, left, down. Use 9 to go into the screen, 1 to come out of the screen, an asterisk to fire your shot, logically, and enter on the keypad cycles between those different settings you can apply to your shot. And then the actual cursor keys on the keyboard, they rotate the cube around. Alright, well, yeah, that was a really interesting game. So I hope you enjoyed that. I certainly did. As always, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you again next time. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please help out the channel by leaving a like or a comment and subscribing. New episodes of Atari A to Z are on Tuesdays and Atari ST A to Z on Thursdays. Check out atari-a-to-z.wordpress.com for a full archive. Do please also check out my other projects moegamer.net, where I explore Japanese and Japanese-inspired games from yesterday and today, and videopackgames.wordpress.com, which aims to catalogue the small but well-formed library of the Philips G7000 Videopack computer, also known as the Magnavox Odyssey 2. You can also support my work on Patreon or buy me a coffee. You can find links to do both down in the video description. Thanks again, and I'll see you next time.